Welcome to the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, Ann Alston, and it is my pleasure to bring quality programs to all of you. I am so excited, especially excited today to be back again to share with you the amazing people that is on this podcast. So I want to encourage everyone to please take a moment and go through all of the pages that's listed on this platform, listen to all the podcasts, because we have such great information that is on this platform that anything that is said and given as a tool can be used to help you. So please take advantage of this unique opportunity. Just in case you did not know, the purpose of the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast is to not only share our business information, but we're also encouraging career seekers and working professionals to enter their line of work. We also want to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors and partners, a family of authors, Butler Armstead Consulting Solutions, Human Resource Learning Center, J&F Enterprises, and Women Offering Wealth, along with many of our other partners who's helping to make this event a success. So today I have an exciting lady who I have been given the pleasure to meet through her agent, and I am so happy to have her on this podcast today because we as a people need to understand that communication is the most important thing that we have to have if we're going to be in any type of business. And so today I want to bring on Darius Chisholm, who is a Emmy award-winning television personality and former NBC News anchor. She's also an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and life and business coach. She has a visibility and media strategy in working over 25 years in television and online media, as well as entrepreneurship. She is the go-to expert for existing business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs who are looking to gain clarity and visibility to create strategic action plans that get results. In addition to her media experience, she is also nationally known, seasoned speaker and author with the expertise in personal development, success strategies, and building a professional brand. She's going to talk about her new book, Hustle, Why Now is Time to Unleash Your Passion. And I can't wait to learn more about her book. So welcome, Daria, to the podcast.
Well, thank you so much, Ann. It's exciting to be here with you.
Absolutely. So tell us all about your journey. I got a chance to go online and see a couple of the clips that was available online about your past career working at NBC News. And I just want to know exactly how did you stumble on this type of industry in the past?
In television, it's interesting. When I was young, I had two things that interested me the most, and that was being a bit in business. I knew I would always want to do that, but I also very much enjoyed interviewing and writing stories. And so I was fortunate to literally begin my career in the media at 16 years old. I had a column on the east side of Detroit. It was called East Side Citizens News, and I published an article once a week. Well, no, excuse me, once a month for that publication. That then led me to get a degree in journalism from Wayne State University, and I also worked at WGPR, which happens to be the first owned and operated African-American radio and television station in the country. So I worked there while I was still in college, and that was really nice because I was 19 years old on TV in Detroit at WGPR Channel 62. Then I went on to Dayton, Ohio, and I spent 2 years there, and then landed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I anchored the news for the NBC affiliate Channel 11 WPXI for some 25 years off and on. So I've had a long career in television.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What are some of the key things that people who are looking to get into journalism would need to know? Because this is one of the industries that you don't hear a lot about in podcasts or career development. We often talk about other major careers like legal and healthcare and things of that nature, but very seldom do we talk about how do you get into a career in journalism and maybe some of the things that a new career seeker should know about.
I would say definitely, obviously, if you're in college and you have an opportunity to do an internship with some media to do that, That is by far going to set you far apart from those people who are getting a degree in some form of media, radio, television, print. So really important that you do internships or have an opportunity to work at a television station or radio or print. Nowadays, things are certainly different in that there are a lot of media outlets that are online, and so the opportunity to work with any media outlet online is by far, a great way to get your foot in the door. Majoring in journalism in college is a good idea, but I often tell students who come to me to ask me about that they should also consider other majors that might include political science, economics, current affairs, something that keeps them very up and on top of what's going on in the news now. The other thing I would definitely recommend is that you have very strong writing skills. And so to whatever degree you need to do to become a much better writer, you definitely want to do that. That's going to set you apart as well. So those would be my three offerings for someone looking to get into the media.
Okay, wonderful. So fast forwarding to today, you're now doing your Hustle and Heart TV or blog radio platform. Talk to us about what this is and how you're using this platform to empower people.
So Hustle and Heart I have Hustle and Heart TV, which is a video podcast show. I've interviewed a number of successful entrepreneurs to learn the hustle and the heart, of a thriving entrepreneur. I also have the podcast show, the audio podcast side to Hustle and Heart, where I interview a number of experts in the business industry. It's also available as a call-in show so that people who are listening can, when I open up the lines, ask my guests questions. And really, I developed this show and this platform about 3 years ago after I retired from my long tenured career at WPXI, partly because I really wanted the opportunity to take my skill set in terms of interviewing and working in the media and bridge it with having great conversations with entrepreneurs. Of course, with the opportunity to be, seen on YouTube and listened to on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, this gives anyone who has a desire to be in some form of media the chance to do that. And so I recommend that for a number of people, that if you really do have a desire to be in television, to be in radio, to be a part of the media, and you don't have a job just yet, create your own media. I mean, that's what YouTube affords you. That's what the freedom of podcasting is about. So all of those things are available to you.
Okay, so what was that driving thing that made you go from just general news over to talking about and working with entrepreneurs? What was that thing that just switched on that said, okay, I just want to I want to talk to entrepreneurs about these issues?
Well, I didn't do it when I was in television. There's no real platform with local news to be able to do long formatted interviews like Hustle and Heart TV. That show, I created that show after I retired from television, and then created, produced, and then released the show. So it was more about my own personal desire or drive, I think that's what you're asking me about, to tell these stories. I've been in business for some 40 years, and so outside of being a television news anchor in several cities, I've also had multiple businesses, and entrepreneurship is really where my passion lies. It's what I coach on as a business coach. It's what my book is about. It's what my platform is about as well. So that's why you get from me this sense of this entrepreneurial spirit. And, I chose as my platform for my podcast and my videos to be about entrepreneurs, since that's really where my passion lies.
Okay, so what are some of the hot topics that you like to talk about that really gets you excited when you're doing your TV podcast?
Primarily anything that has to do with helping a small business owner grow their business. So if we're talking about, best ways to market, best ways to find your ideal client or customer, best ways to close the sale, best ways to really put yourself in the mindset of success and prosperity and abundance. My topics all range from that that place. And again, this is primarily now the podcast, the audio podcast. When you look at the series that I did with Hustle and Tart TV and the 2 seasons, and you watch the interviews that I did with entrepreneurs, you'll see that some of the questions were around that. Sometimes it was around, give me your strategies, your tips and your tools for success. Sometimes we focused in on maybe a major challenge that they faced and how they overcame it. We're all, as business owners, looking for great information to help us get over some of the hurdles or really use the tools and tips that we need to grow and expand our business. So you'll find that you can get those resources from the interviews that I have there.
Okay, fabulous, fabulous. So before the podcast, you mentioned that you had a series that you developed, and so I want to give you the opportunity to tell people about the series that you talked to me about.
The workshop formula?
Yep.
Yeah. So primarily as a life and business coach, I spend a lot of time working with my clients to help them really get past any of the blocks that might be going on and really become more visible, both online and offline. And while there's a number of ways that, obviously when we're doing business online, we can try and generate customers or clients and market, it's a very crowded space, right? For those of us who spend, days looking at the computer trying to figure out how do I up my likes, how do I get people moving through my online funnels, how do I make my Facebook ads, get more traction, it can be very daunting and very expensive. And if you don't have a large email list, oftentimes you don't see a return on investment. So what I advocate is literally going back to the basics. Why not host your own workshop or live event and invite 5 to 10 people into a room, and you can share your content, your message, your information, your passion in a way that people can truly engage with you, and from there move those people into long-term customers. So the workshop formula is an online course that I have developed that teaches people the 5 things that they can use to plan, promote, and profit from hosting their own live event, including how best to pull the content together and utilize your own content or develop content, how best to market it, how to fill the seats, how to structure the contracts with the venues that you will be hosting your events at, how to price it, how to seal the deal, and then how to move that room from just being there for that day with you at the workshop to perhaps being a long-term client or customer of yours. So it's a really interesting approach. It's, my clients are having amazing results utilizing the formula and doing their own live events. What I've done is actually, and I'd love for anyone who's interested in learning more about it, I just finished a 3-part video training series. It's free, and you can watch the series, get more information about the power of hosting workshops. There's also a download available, and you can get that at workshopformula.com. So it's just workshopformula.com. You'll be able to watch the videos. But then if you choose to actually register for the course and enroll in the course, you're going to get a wealth of information. It's over 170 pages of information that you can come back to because it's evergreen and always available to you. 10 hours of recorded content, and I also have 4 other guest experts in marketing, branding, social media advertising, and copywriting who also add to this training. So it's a great training. I hope that people will go out first off and watch the free training series, but then enroll into the workshop formula. I want to give them a gift. It's a special gift as part through you, Anne. So if you're listening and you decide that you want to register and actually take the full course and access all of the information, I want to give you 10% off the course. And all you need to do is at the time of checkout, use this promo code BMWOC, so BMWOC, and that'll take 10% off the workshop formula.
That sounds fabulous. I'm encouraging everybody to please use the tools that is given throughout the podcast series because in the end, all this great information is going to help you get to where you need to be, whether you're starting a new business or whether you're already in business and you need additional information or resources. That's what the tools are here for. So, Daria, what other initiatives are you working on at this moment in addition to all of the other stuff with the TV and your podcast?
Yeah, so primarily I spend a great deal of time speaking. I do have a book out. It's called Hustle, Why Now is the Time to Unleash Your Passion. So I travel a lot. I speak, to a number of different women's organizations as well as entrepreneur organizations, really promoting the book, but then promoting what I call my 7 steps to a successful side hustle. It comes to me that most people enter business for the most part, just to kind of make some money on the side or have that business on the side that at some point they can transition to doing it full time. I did that for multiple years until I quit my very successful television job to go into my side hustle and make it a full hustle. So I'm clear about the steps that it takes to doing that.
Okay.
And so I promote those 7 steps. That's something else I'd actually like to extend to your audience is you can get your hands on the 7 steps to a successful side hustle. It's a free download as well as an audio. And I walk you through what I believe are the 7 steps that I've certainly used, but that I also determined were pieces that many successful entrepreneurs use. And I know this because I've interviewed them for over, 4 or 5 years, and then certainly if I extend into my several decades of owning a business. So I just decided that I would pull these 7 steps together as a means of encouraging people to use all 7 of them or 1 or 2 of them in their journey towards success. So if you want to get your hands on that, you can just go to jointhehustle.com. So that's just jointhehustle.com, and then you can access the free 7 steps in the audio download. There's another way you can get to it as well. If you're more into texting, just text 33444 and enter the word unleash. So basically you're going to text the word unleash to 33444, hit send, put your email in, hit send, and then you'll get the 7 steps.
Fabulous, fabulous. We definitely going to have to unleash our hustle. I'm going to tell you, because a lot of us are going out here hustling right now. They are actually hustling. I know I'm trying to get my hustle on. So if you didn't get it, you got it now. Make sure you write the number down, and it will be here on her page so we won't forget that and the code. So, Daria, this is a networking event for small businesses, and you are another entrepreneur. What do you need in order to thrive and help your cause in continuing with what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm at the growth stage, and so at this point, I'm really looking to collaborate and work with very dynamic business owners who also are looking to lend resources and information to others. So I often look for guests for my show. So anyone who's interested in being a guest for Hustle and Heart can definitely connect with me. In addition to that, I'm looking for people who, in being a guest, really come to the table with their own resources that they can provide to help others, start, grow, or expand their business. So guest for the podcast, always a great opportunity. I'm also looking for speaking opportunities. So if there's anyone who's listening who's, got some type of conference coming up or an initiative where they're looking for a speaker or a host, I am certainly available to host, MC, be a speaker, keynote, whatever you need. So any of those would be great. And the other thing I will say is that to whatever degree I can support someone else in their journey, you can contact me and just schedule some time to chat with me. So that would be my exchange as well.
That is fabulous. Well, Derry, I want to thank you for being on the podcast and sharing with everybody all of the great things that you're doing. You're definitely someone who is being looked up to because you have accomplished so much. And everybody who's listened to this podcast needs to take advantage of the platform that you are providing, because this is yet another way of being able to give a voice to young people, to middle-aged people, to entrepreneurs, to authors, to be able to come out and voice what they're doing in the world so that we can further build a stronger community. And I'm a firm believer in being able to foster and build connections and partnerships and long-time relationships. And so I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. And everybody, please make sure to remind you again to please go to all of the pages and listen to all the podcasts. And please reach out to me, Darius, and whoever else on this podcast to get your questions answered. And thank you so much.
Thank you.